Howdy. YouTube video. Alright, let's get it. So, learning to pterodactyl. Start with the grip. Regular backhand grip, nothing too special. Sometimes I like to keep my pinky back here more so that it's easier to get the snap through it. And that's all there really is to it. It's just like you're throwing a backhand and then you start over your shoulder. Where you put the disc on your shoulder is pretty important because you don't want to be like touching your bicep. You want to almost be over top because you're going to bend down and that's what's going to cause it to be a little bit flatter out of your hands. I think when you're starting off, you're definitely going to be having it be more vertical and you're going to turn into rollers. The thing to correct is whenever you're coming through and it turns into a roller and kind of speeds off to the right, that's when you want to make sure that you're bending down more to get it flatter, because the best thing to do off the start is to have the overstable disc that you chose off to the left side of it so that you can correct a little bit more there, put a little bit more anhyzer, and that helps to get that air bounce and get it going from a roller or diving to the left to that nice air bounce, glide, and left finish. So I mentioned it a little bit, but the disc you choose is pretty important. I like to have a super overstable disc because I like to put a lot of anhyzer to help get a little distance and have it finish back to the left. If you don't know what anhyzer overstable are, there's a ton of other things to check out online. They're pretty important for disc golf, so I'm guessing if you're watching this video, you already know what they are. Anyway, nice overstable disc helps to prevent it from just automatically turning into a roller and gets that smooth S-curve on the finish after the air bounce. It's pretty necessary to throw a pterodactyl. So, backhand grip over your shoulder. Next thing I like to do is where I'm placing my feet. So if I come out here, it's not just like stepping forward and throwing. The main thing you want to do is step out here. I like to almost fully turn my foot to the left to kind of really help with that bending down motion. So you're just doing like a regular kind of X step over, and your back starts to bend over top. So you're coming down through and you're here, and that's where you really start to throw. So after your grips and your steps, the next thing to do is the angle of the disc coming off your shoulder. So it's pretty much like an anhyzer, but you're gonna flick down and like through it with your thumb. So you kind of come through, and as it releases, you flick your wrist down. That's what causes the sweet like air bounce to get it going to the right, and then it'll fade back left because of the disc you choose. But whenever you're coming, you push down onto the disc with that anhyzer angle to get it to go like a U out of your hand. So I'll try to demonstrate it like this. Alright, so I'm going to show two common mistakes, that roller and the fading off too hard to the left, and kind of try to show you a little bit of what happens when you're doing that. So roller is going to be first. So coming down at too hard of an angle, it's just going to curl off left. There's no air bounce to get it going up to have it time to fade back left. The other common mistake is no air bounce or enough anhyzer, and that just kind of is going to fly like a regular backhand on an overstable disc. So you can see it kind of just like came out of my hand straight, started going left. It didn't really go anywhere because you don't get a ton of power off of a pterodactyl because obviously it's all just the snap of your wrist and how far you can get that to go. So I'm going to try to slow down a few pterodactyls and just give a nice example of how to get one to work. Again, you got your overstable disc and then putting all those pieces together to try to get a nice smooth shot. Let's see if I can make it in 2 shots. So there, you got to have the nose up again to be able to get that air bounce, because if your nose down and you try to follow through, it's still just going to go flat. That's another thing I didn't mention earlier. But following through, I didn't get enough anhyzer on that, so it kind of just stayed straight and finished out left. Yeah, see, I put too much down angle on that one. It didn't have enough power or air balance to get going left, so there's a fine balance, and it's so touchy, it's so hard to figure out the perfect angle going one way or another, but you keep working on it. I've been throwing them for almost a year now because of Big Germ. I will link him in the description if you want a better example of how to do this. Watch his videos. I'm just kind of doing this for the people who want to know, and yeah, hope you enjoyed.